Good morning. Again, we are downtown Indianapolis. I'm with Will Higgins, who has a unique touring experience that you can take, and it's called
Will Higgins Tours.
What a concept. And you tell people fascinating things that they might not know about the city.
They couldn't possibly know some of this stuff, and they will freak them out to know it.
So we picked some stuff that's kind of Halloweenish, and now we're in front of the county jail, and I'm sure you'll pick a good one. Tell me about this.
Well, we're in front of the new county jail, which is on the site of the old county jail, where in 1936, we had in Indianapolis our last execution by hanging. And the hangee was
legitimate execution.
Yeah, execution.
Yeah.
It was 1936. The man's name was George Barrett, and he was a career criminal who made the mistake of killing a federal law enforcement official over in eastern Indiana. And there was a new law that said that was an automatic capital punishment, and it had to be done by hanging. And this was a problem for Indianapolis because this city hadn't hanged anybody for 2 decades. They'd used electrocution. And so they had to build a whole new scaffolding and bring in somebody from out of town who knew how to do it. And then the locals here were crazy with curiosity. Thousands of people clamored to the sheriff to let him come and watch this hanging. And he said, no, but we will let you come in and look at the gallows. So the day of the hanging, thousands of Hoosiers came waltzing through the courtyard here, looking at the gallows and marveling at it and wishing that they could see the actual deal getting done. When it came actually down to the hanging, it was a little more sober than people expected. They are hanging, they're killing a guy, and they had to stay. He had ordered his last meal beforehand, the biggest steak in town is what he said. He was kind of cocky, but when the time came to eat the biggest steak in town, he had no appetite, and nobody did. And he was led into the courtyard, walked up the steps. Somebody in the small crowd vomited loudly, retched. And can you imagine the smell of that in a small tent? And then they released the trap door, the body fell down, he twitched and swung for a little while. And then the people got up and left. And as they departed, they left through the jail's kitchen. And there in the kitchen was the dead man's last meal, which he hadn't touched. And so there, a reporter named Arthur Tiernan, who works for the Indianapolis Star, he paused at this biggest steak in town with all the fixins, sat down, and ate it.
All right. This segment was brought to you by Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. That is a great story.
Thank you.
We're going to do one more place. Stay with us.
Oh, my goodness.
I gotta guess it when he said that. I was like,
That's
he
grim.
ate it. He ate it.
Oh,
I
that
knew it.
is dark.
It is dark.
I mean, he delivers the story so well, though.
He
Totally
does.
separate from how disgusting the
He's a great
story is.
storyteller, absolutely.
Wow.
And I've said this all morning long. Dick Wolfsie's had this gentleman on.
Yeah.
I can't even count how many times now here on Weekend Daybreak. And it's been different every time. And every story he has is fascinating. And he does all of these, and he does it as a tour. So.
It's very Halloweenish, too, the one that he's picking. They're kind of spooky. They're all a bit
dark, but
one
fascinating.
fall night kind of a...
Fascinating stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah.